G'day humans, Chris Dead from Fine here. I'm on the road big time. I am in Barcelona. I'm about to get on the biggest cruise ship in the world, Wonder of the Seas from Royal Caribbean. Check out this behind me. Starts way over there somewhere. Let's jump on. Rightio, so here we are. I've been kind of struggling thinking about the way I was going to approach this content because this ship is just so big and I don't really know how I can show everything that there is to see and do, but I am going to do a bit of a tour for you, and I'm going to basically explain to you how I have reacted to my first ever cruise ship experience, and it's on the biggest cruise ship of all time, and what I've learned and how I feel about it all. So let's go take a look. So I'm standing here right now at the very back of the boat. Sorry, I keep getting in trouble for calling it a boat. It's not a boat, it's a ship. So from here down that way, I don't know how far it is, but I've easily walked 10,000 steps a day since I got here. Check out this pink slide. It goes all the way, like way down there. That's a giant theatre down there, by the way. I watched an event down there last night. I think it was called Aqua Theater, and it was incredible. And they got live shows and stuff like that happening all the time. So pretty much everywhere you walk in this place, there's a bar. So it's my kind of place. I'll throw the zoom out a bit so we got a bit more. There we go. The piranha mouth, stepping if you dare. The Flowrider, which I'll be going on shortly. Hopefully I don't do my back. So this up here is called the Sport Precinct. Now there's all these different spots, neighbourhoods they call them, all around this place, which you can dive into and jump into. In fact, you can see some up there. I might go and have a look up there. So there's so many places I still haven't found yet. So there's some basketball going down. There's a zip line that goes across there. There's the thrill seekers. And I'll show you, just to get an idea so you can get a feel of just how big this place is. That's the end of that slide, by the way, all the way down there. I don't know what that is, like 10 stories or something. And all these restaurants and places to eat and drink everywhere. Through that glass is a place called Windjammers, which is where you just walk in at any time basically, and they've got all kinds of food there. They had, first day we got here, they had lobster and oyster, mussels and prawns, everything you can imagine. my first impressions were just, what is going on with the scale of this thing? Like, you arrive at the port, you look up, and it goes up and up and up and up and up, and long, and just moving around it. I've started to get my head around the ship within probably 24 hours. I mean, there's a lot of, I don't have my kids with me, which is such that, it's just, it would be a kid's paradise, there's no doubt about it. So there's a show going on there just right now, look. See that down there? There's that slide. Holy hell, I'm going on that slide later. So then we were sitting there at night last night watching this show. It was spectacular. Really, really good. So let's continue. So got a fairly big kids precinct over there, climbing equipment, slides, putt. There's a laser tag I've come across, time zone games room, and obviously there's swimming pools and spas and stuff like that as well. So much food. We've eaten in a few of the restaurants over the last couple of days, and the food has been unanimously really quite good. And they make I've also been really impressed by the cocktails. I'm usually too much of a tight ass for cocktails, but very, very tasty. Let's have a look in here. I'll show you the games room. There's a full casino in the middle of this joint. Like all of a sudden you just walk into this room and there's pokies and people smoking and bars and roulette and Texas Hold'em and the whole lot. So I guess that shouldn't be a surprise. But yeah, so initial impressions were just, how is this happening? It's just so big. The atmosphere when we got on board was just so electric. Everybody was so happy, everyone was smiling so much. They had a live band playing up here, DJs, see all these. It's not the warmest weather, it's only about 19 degrees, so the pool hasn't been getting a huge workout, but the spas sure have. So I understood correctly, at full capacity you could have up to 6,900 people on this boat and well over 2,000 crew. So that's giving you an idea of the actual scale. We're not in a very busy time at the moment because this is a media event. So I think it's about 2,500 people in here at the moment. So we're about halfway across the top of the boat right now. And going up and down, there's these amazing glass elevators that go up and down through the middle of the ship. And every level pretty much has another district or another thing that you can go and see or do. I'll try and get some footage of the various districts and I'll layer it at the top at some point. But see down right into the middle of the ship there, that's called Central Park, so that's all real trees growing in there. And then that's still, I can't remember what level that is, but there's still another 8 or so levels below that, including the Promenade and all that. It's even further below. The Wonderland restaurants definitely want to check out. It's all themed to Alice in Wonderland. But yeah, I've never been particularly excited about the idea of a cruise, which is probably horribly unfair. Hopefully my voice is still coming through with the wind, but I don't know, I just always thought of other things, driving trips, airplane trips, exploring by combi, exploring on foot. Never really thought of a cruise of being a thing that would be lots of fun. So I tell you what, I'm coming around. Everything's just organised and safe. Like the kids could just run amok here. Look at these waterworks. Sorry, we've just really walked into some massive wind. There hasn't been any wind until right now when I'm filming. I'll walk you around in a sec to the Solarium, because this ship, this is Wonder of the Seas, was originally built for China, for the Chinese winter. And so they built this area called the Solarium to deal with the fact that people may not want to be outside, but they might want to still have that beachy, cruisy, poolly atmosphere. Of course, why wouldn't you? It's just around the corner here. All the doors are push button. I'm sure if any of you are watching this who have been on cruises before, you're probably going, well, duh. But to me, that's pretty novel. Infinity Sky, anyone? I'm actually going to come back here tonight, watch it, see the stars through there. So we're almost getting to the front of the boat now. Not the very front, which is reserved for helipad. But you've got more spas, water areas, big restaurants. It is a pretty awesome space in here. But definitely one for your cold areas. It's bloody humid out. I haven't been down there yet, so let's go and have a look. Staff, incredible. Just happy and working hard, but just so accommodating and so lovely. Definitely get the impressions of a variety. Like, you could find whatever it is that you want to do. And we saw at the other end of the ship, people playing basketball and the kids on all the things. There's a helipad. There we go, so that's the front of the boat. So what would that take me? 10 minutes. 10 minutes to walk from front to back, just on this level. And then there's God knows how many other levels below us. 20 levels at least. All right, I'll see if I can show you some other stuff from downstairs, but it's pretty hard to crisscross your way through everything, but we'll give it a go. So here we are walking back out of the Solarium on the other side. Through there you can see the waterworks and so forth I showed you earlier. Go show you these elevators. So there's stairs the whole way. There's a running track that goes the entire way around the ship on, I think it's level 5. All the way down. Look how far it goes. There's that Central Park I was telling you about. So that's mostly filled with eateries. And it's down a promenade, which I'll take you down to now, which is where you're going to find your shops, activities. There's a laser tag somewhere. 5. So this thing shows things that you can do on this cruise, for the most part. And I just keep seeing things I haven't seen yet. There's the Royal Theater. There was a comedian in there last night. It started at 12:45 a.m. You can see them. Is that a yoga class? Pilates, something like that. There's just layer upon layer. There's a box office down there. More rooms and places to do and things. I'm overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that's on here. You know, and then you've got cruises stopping places so you can get off and explore the world as you go. Now this is feeling a bit docile at the moment, but I tell you, 1 a.m. last night, when yours truly was here, you could probably tell from the croaky voice, this place was bouncing. They actually had a parade go through here earlier as well.
Ahoy, mateys! All you landlubbers need to shimmy to one side of the promenade or the other. Anchors away!
So there's a Spotlight Karaoke. I believe that was built due to the original intent of this being a ship for China. I think COVID come along and may have derailed that, at least in the short term. Okay, so this is the floor we come in, you arrive in on. You can see a couple of shops, and there's a day spa where you can go get massages and facials and sauna and so forth. A lot of these places are as you would expect, so this is where I ended up very late last night. This little kind of English style pub here, which was filled with English who were extraordinarily happily drunk and enjoying a Irish singer who was at the microphone there, who was really, really good. And then I nicked over here to get a pizza. There was trivia up there this morning in the Schooner Bar. Don't drink and drive, Chris. Good advice. Check out this bar goes up. So that's actually a bar, and it drops down, you get in it, and it goes up through the ship while you're having your yarn and so forth. So we're coming back towards about the centre of the ship now. I'll actually walk up. Like I said, there's just too much to show. How's this? It's a bar where it's a robot that makes the drinks. See? How cool is that?
Bionic signature.
Tell you what, you wouldn't be getting $500,000 over your 30 mils and up that place. Oh, what's over there? I can't remember. Anyway, I believe I'm showing you the scale of it, and I hope I'm getting across or carrying across my own sense of wonder that this thing exists. And I think it's fair to say that I would very much happily come and do another cruise now, and that I really want to bring my kids. How good is this for a map? There you go, that's how many floors there are. 18. Up to the boardwalk. So I have gone and looked at the Royal Suite, and they showed that off to us, which is like this massive, it's got a grand piano in it. That should be an indicator of how big it is. Its own spa on its own deck. It's like kind of like being in a theme park. It's like, yeah, so I mean, obviously the carousel would suggest that, but just the amount of things to do and eat and see, and just a total sense of fun. Everyone's just in it together. Johnny Rockets. Okay, so let's have a look at the room. So I'm on room 612 on 10. This is a ocean view stateroom. So having been new to cruises, coming in here and seeing the size of this room, initially I was like, oh wow, you know, obviously we're on a cruise boat, everything's quite tight. But really it's fine, it's really lovely. In fact, it's more than lovely. So I might as well start with the spectacular. Wow. When I woke up this morning and pulled back the blind and saw this, I was pretty jaw-dropped. So a couple of chairs out here and a table. So I'll give you an idea of the scope here. It's just absolutely ridiculous how big this boat is. Trying to work out over there whether that's Africa or Europe, or somewhere in between. So this has obviously got the bed, nice large size bed, extremely comfortable, really comfortable bed, nice and soft and opulent. Amazing pillows as well. Like I'm a stickler for good pillows. These pillows were fantastic. So huge tick of approval for me on the quality of the bed. To kind of use the space as well as possible there, you can see with the side table and the lamps, and plenty of clothes storage space. I believe there's a safe in one of these as well. Yeah, there we go. Hangers and so forth. And a nice TV on the wall, which I felt no need to turn on, to be honest, because it's just so much to do. Noise-wise, look, I could hear a couple of footsteps upstairs and around. You could, like, it does come through the walls, not enough to, you know, distract or make any major issues. But you can see down here the way this seals comes in like that is airtight, and as soon as you close that, all the sound from outside just disappears. So you'd have to have some serious weather outside for that to be disturbing. So again, really good job they've done here. And also with the temperature of the room was nice and stable all night. So I mean, there's not a hell of a lot to go through really, but dresser as well. A couch, I haven't had a need to use it, but a little mirror here as well, makeup and so forth. And quite a selection of PowerPoints down here now. No Australian points. We've got European and American. Luckily I didn't forget my converter. There's also some USB-A ports that you can charge from directly, so there's two here, but not USB-C, which is the mistake that I made. I didn't bring in my USB-A cable. So that's just something to keep in mind. Again, I'll give you a quick look in here. The aircon made a little bit of sound, like you could definitely hear that it was on, but it was a consistent sound, so kind of like white noise in a way. So that didn't bother me, and I'm a stickler for sound. And the bathroom. So good to see they've ditched the all the single-use plastics with the shampoo and so forth, but they've got the one generic hair/body wash there. A little bit cramped for space when it comes to the toilet and the shower. I mean, I'm humongous human, so I found it a little bit tight. Like I wouldn't be able to dry myself in there very well, for example. But the shower itself was of excellent pressure and temperature. So there's a little tour of what you can expect if you get a stateroom. This is number 10 or floor 10, 612. I get the impression they're all very similar. Especially just walking past and seeing cleaners and so forth. That's sneaky beaked in. You can go up to the suites as well, which are absolutely mind-blowingly huge and absolutely mind-blowingly expensive. Anyway, here's a little tour of the room. Well, sadly, that's the end of my time on Wonder of the Seas. The Oasis Class ship from Royal Caribbean and the biggest cruise ship in the world. As you can probably hear from my voice, had a good time. It's really hard to actually collect all my thoughts right now, so please do have a look in the description below, because I will put some link to some written content. You can see the sun rising up over the Mediterranean here behind me. which is a very spectacular way I could wake up in the morning. You know, being this is my first cruise in the way that I guess I was expecting it to go, I've just been surprised by how relaxed it's been, how amazing the staff have been, how comfortable it's been, how much there's been to do. And look at that, see the sun shining through there? And how much I wish I had the kids with me. So I think the kids would have just absolutely had such a great time. This was a really small cruise. It was just kind of an experience to just understand this ship, and definitely looking at the way that they are looking at sustainability and the things that they're doing in terms of the recycling the rubbish, and that was really interesting. Obviously it's still quite a massive, thirsty, fuel consuming vessel and way to travel, but it's not as bad as I thought it was. So I'm quite interested as well to do some comparisons and how this would compare with travelling with a family of 5 if I was taking into account car fuel, parking, transfers, food, all that type of stuff. It'd be really interesting to see the comparison for a family holiday. So I'm definitely going to dive into that when I have a bit more time available to me. But you know, overall, I was so comfortable on this ship, and I've eaten so well, and the drinks were so nice, and yeah, it's been really impressive actually. So I'm actually going from this ship to another ship, which is going to be more of a classic tour where we're doing some excursions and stuff like that. So definitely look for that. I'll do some content around that as well. But until next time, I'm back on the road.